Hey y'all, it's Elizabeth Weihmiller, and I have a new month to share with you. It is October 2023. I cannot believe how fast this year is gone. We're already in the final quarter of 2023. Seems like just yesterday we were talking about January, but there's a lot going on this month, and we're going to jump right in and talk about what you can expect this month. And then we're also going to talk about, obviously, the predictions for all 12 signs and what broad high level you may be able to expect based on your ascendant and moon sign. And I always say combine both. So with that being said, let's just jump right in. So October, we have finally, as I mentioned, entered the fourth quarter of 2023. We have already entered eclipse season. So eclipse season starts a month before the eclipses, and we are going to have a solar eclipse on October 14th. And then we will also have a lunar eclipse on October 28th because they always come in pairs. Now, eclipses can be a time of new beginnings. They can be a time of endings. They can be a time to wipe the slate clean. They can be very much shifts of fate. Eclipses really are going to impact based on the house they're in. That's what the area it's going to impact for you. But they can really be a time that will bring a close to one chapter of your life and really a beginning of a new chapter. So you may not have a choice in this matter. You may not like it, but the universe always kind of does what it's going to do based on your chart. With solar eclipses, it can bring triumphs and victories, especially if you are already on the correct path. If you are not on the right path, it may bring more challenges that force you to change. It's kind of that boulder rolling towards you and knocking you out to get the message across to you. I always say you don't want the boulder coming towards you. You always want to get the changes and make those changes when the universe throws a little pebble. So pebbles are much better. It is a time where you can find you're pushed outside your comfort zone. It's very much, it's like that bird being kicked out of the nest to see if it can fly. So keep that in mind as we go through the solar eclipse. For the lunar eclipse, one of the things to keep in mind is that it can bring highly charged events. It can bring events that really force us to face truths and uncover our true feelings. It can be a more emotional time, and the lunar eclipse, again, is October 28th, but it's going to bring really meaningful and long-lasting changes and effects on your life and changes to your life. And it can be really a period where it can trigger breakthroughs. It can inspire sudden events. It could bring up sudden decisions, whether it's to move in with somebody or break up or even get married. Within society, it can be a time of scandal that comes up, in front of everything, which we're already seeing a little bit, at least in the US, with some of the scandal going on with one of the congressmen. So we might see more because remember, we've already begun eclipse season. We began back September 14th. So you can also see a shift in the economy during this period and during the lunar eclipse. One of the things is, and I'm sure you're like, how do I handle an eclipse, Elizabeth? Like, this all sounds a little, faded shifts and things going on and chapters closing, new chapters beginning. One of the things I really say is it's a time to go with the flow. Trust the universe. There's going to be things you can control. There's going to be things you can't control. Show up, control what you can, but otherwise have faith in the universe. Trust it. Kind of go with that flow. It's really a time to listen to your intuition. It's time, whether you call it intuition, whether you call it that gut feeling, it is a time to listen to that intuition and gut insights that come your way. It could be through dreams. It could be through symbolism, whether it's you see hawks all the time, or all of a sudden all these spiders show up in your life, or be sure to Google that symbolism and see what it's trying to tell you, because that is the universe's way of giving you messages. It's the only way it can do it. So I think that's one thing to really do. Another thing, really, it can be a time where, you try to make a more impulsive decision. And what I would say with that is really sleep on your decisions, make a list, weigh the pros and cons. Another really big key during eclipse season, make sure you're staying grounded and finding balance. So one of the best ways to stay grounded is getting out in nature. It can be even better if you get your bare feet out in some grass and really connect with Mother Earth. It is one of the wonderful ways to ground yourself. Meditation is another really great way to get insight and to ground yourself and to stay really balanced during this time. But one of the keys, go with the flow, stay open, and trust your intuition and trust the universe. I mean, sometimes we go through events in our life that while we're in them, we're like, this sucks. This is not what I want to be doing. But we come out the other side and we've learned lessons and we've grown and we're stronger and more insightful and we're able to contribute more to this lifetime. So keep that in mind. Again, events may not always be fun. We all go through those journeys and events, and they really do shape us into who we are. Now, I talked about eclipses. Those are like the major event this month, but we also have a ton of other movement up in the sky. We have 3 big events on October 1st. So the first one is Mercury is going to transit into its own sign of Virgo. Now, this will be a short transit because it is clipping along. It, spent the time retrograde between end of August into September in the sign of Leo. And now it is moving forward full speed ahead. And so it will only be in Virgo until October 18th. So just keep that in mind. Mercury in Virgo is it's a powerful time for communication. It can be a time when business does very well. It can be a time where the spotlight is put on your health. Virgo is the natural 6th sign of the zodiac. It's really a time of like healing. It can be a time of really handling details more easily. They just come more naturally during this time. However, with that, we may get stuck in the details and we could find ourselves overanalyzing or being more critical of others. So keep that in mind. The second event occurring on October 1st is that Venus is going to transit into Leo. Now, Venus is still finally coming towards the end of its retrograde shadow. So it did spend a little time in Leo at the start of its retrograde, and now it's going over those early degrees again where it retrograded already once this year. With that being said, it will clear its shadow and be out of its shadow October 7th. Once it clears this, all events related to this most Venus retrograde, if you were impacted, should come to their completion, should come like full circle at this point. Now, Venus will spend about a month in Leo, and this transit is a time when we can really rekindle passion in our relationships. It can be a time where we get a boost in our confidence and our self-esteem. We can find ourselves being more self-assured in our decisions. And it's really a great time to get out and socialize. Leo is a very social sign. Venus is a very social planet as well. However, as with anything, there's the positives and the things to watch out for. Really be aware with Venus and Leo, you're going to have to watch your spending. Make sure you're sticking to your budget. And then you can also be more prone to overindulging in food, alcohol, drugs potentially. So keep an eye on that. Don't let things go too crazy and stick to budgets and maintaining a healthy way of eating during this time. The third event that is happening on October 1st is that the moon will be conjunct retrograde Jupiter in sidereal Aries. This is a quick hit. As you know, the moon moves extremely quickly through the signs, only spends about 2 days in each sign, 2.5 days in each sign. So it's going to be a really quick, brief energy hit. But one of the good things is it's going to leave you feeling really good. It's going to leave feelings of generosity. It can give really this like not having fear of anything and having that feeling that everything is good and right in your life. So enjoy that brief transit as there's a lot of other stuff going on. Now, October 3rd, the front of the month is very loaded with a lot of movement. October 3rd, Mars is finally going to leave Virgo behind and transit into sidereal Libra. This transit is going to ask you to find more balance between assertiveness and diplomacy. However, this transit has a lot going on because it is going to be made more complex. Mars and Libra is going to be more complex by the fact that Mars is going to be combust the sun during this whole transit. And then it's also on October 3rd through 5th, Mars will be conjunct the node of the moon, K2. When it's conjunct the node of the moon, K2 during that period, it can bring extreme low self-esteem, However, one of the things to watch for is people may try to overcompensate and end up in ego and end up acting overly confident, even though they're not feeling it. The combustion, which will also be going on at the same time, can bring out more selfish behaviors. It can bring out more fights. It can bring out more competitive energy, and it can also bring inflated egos. However, positive side, it is going to bring out more passion. It's going to bring out more confidence as well if it isn't fully impacted in a negative way. Part of this will also be based on what house it's in for you. It'll also vary based on if you have any personal planets there. So some may not feel this transit as much as others. One of the things is it can bring a desire to feel a need to change jobs. It can make, while Mars is combust, it can also make people more rough, more overbearing, more impatient, can give a desire for instant gratification and make a little more impulsive decision making. So really keep an eye on that. Again, what we talked about with the eclipses, it's really important to stay grounded, meditate, stay just very centered, and don't let yourself get into ego, because ego never helps. So overall, if you can stay out of ego, be patient in your relationships and interactions with others, be patient while driving, be very alert while driving. It could bring up accidents during this transit as well. So a lot going on with that Mars entering Libra. The good news is it is left Virgo. So that is positive because it's not as, it doesn't have that strong attachment to Mercury. There will be, which we will talk about, a period where Mercury and Mars are more connected again during October, but we will get there. October 17th, the sun will transit into sidereal Libra. This is the weakest transit for the sun. So the sun does not do well in Libra. It's a time where, the sun's just very dark, and it will be in Libra until November 16th. This sun in Libra can also bring low self-esteem. So there's going to kind of be some contradictions going on. The energy could ebb and flow a little bit more. You may feel some ups and downs and highs and lows. Sun in Libra could bring up health issues, as the sun does govern our health and it is weak. It can bring about poor decision-making abilities within the government. So that's one thing to keep in mind. We don't really want them making a ton of decisions right now. However, the positive side is it can really bring an ability to work better with others as part of a team. With, as I mentioned, K2 being in the very early degrees of Libra right now in transit, the sun will be conjunct K2 exactly October 17th and 18th. And this is a time where we can have more spiritual insights, lean more spiritual in our inclination. However, we could feel a little lost or more confused and not be as sure of what we want or where we are going, or wondering kind of like what we should be doing and where we should be going. Mercury is going to get mixed up in that energy, as well as it will transit into Libra on October 18th. And Mercury in Libra is a time where we can be diplomatic, we can be friendly, we can bring a more rational approach to our one-on-one relationships. We can find ourselves working to understand both sides of a situation, which is really positive and we need more of at this time. We are also, with Mercury and Libra, not going to be as capable of making quick decisions. So we're going to vacillate. We may sit on the fence more, kind of go back and forth on what the right decision is. Really great time, write a list, weigh the pros and cons. It can be a time where, we're better able to enhance our love life and bond more with our partners. So there are positives, as I said, with everything. So just keep that in mind. Now, Rahu, we're going to talk about Rahu, the other node of the moon. We kind of mentioned K2 a little bit. Rahu has entered the Gandanta. It entered it back in August. So what this says is it's in the final degrees, the early degrees of a fire sign, and headed towards the final degrees of a water sign. So the nodes of the moon, if you don't know about them, they love to do everything differently. So they actually transit counterclockwise. So they'll go from sidereal Aries and Libra and go backwards. So they will enter then sidereal Pisces and Virgo as their next transits. With Rahu in Gandanta, it's really, you've heard about Gandanta before. It can be a time of extreme weather. It can be a time of extreme emotion. Gandanta is considered that really, powerful karmic knot. It's really a time where events can happen that are more fated. It can be a time of spiritual growth. While in the middle of it, though, you might not necessarily feel this, and it can feel confusing and like the universe is kind of conspiring against you. But remember, the universe is always working in your favor for what it knows you need on this life and in this journey of your life. So be sure to pay attention to signs and symbols. And again, Rahu and Gandanta, it can bring more extreme weather. It can bring more flooding. It can bring more rain. We could see more earthquakes or volcanic eruptions. We could see more tensions around the world, especially with also the Mars combustion as well. Rahu will move out of the Gandanta on December 30th, 2023. So almost there. Also, we'll talk about this in November, but the nodes in the true node system are going to change signs on November 28th. So again, come back in November and we'll discuss what that kind of means for you. And I'll also do a separate video of what the nodes in the Virgo, Pisces, sidereal axis will mean for each of the 12 signs over the next 18 months. October 28th and 29th, Mercury will be exactly conjunct Mars in Libra. While Venus energy will soften this energy because they are in a Venus-ruled sign, it's still going to be really important. Watch your communication because there could be this tendency to be a little more harsh in your tone of voice, in your communication, a little more direct, a little more aggressive. So just be aware that you could come across that way. Again, a lot happening in October. Stay grounded, keep that energy. Really, the universe always guides us on our path. So we just need to listen. We need to listen to our intuition, and we need to pay attention to those signs and symbols that come our way. Now, with that being said, what everybody also looks for is the sign predictions for each of the 12 signs. These are broad, high-level insights. If you want to know the personal impact of everything going on you, I will put a link below this video to book a natal consultation with me that'll give insights into what your chart says, what your journey is in this life, as well as, what kind of to expect going forward based on the transits, based on your unique birth chart. So broad, high level, pay attention to your moon sign and your ascendant. I really do think both give insight. If you have the same moon sign and ascendant, you only need to read the one, but pay attention to both as far as reading through them. One of the other things, if you don't know your ascendant, there are tons of free tools online to find your ascendant. If you want to find it in Vedic, though, make sure you're going to somebody that is a Vedic astrologer or uses the sidereal system of astrology. With that being said, Aries, passions will be higher between you and your partner during this month, whether it be marriage or business. Really be mindful that if it feels like, your partner is attacking your character, that you let them release that steam, as they are likely projecting anger at others onto you. We always project our anger onto those we feel safest with, and they may not be able to take that anger out at work or with other people. And so they may put it on you, even though it is not you. For you, it will be really important to remain calm, cool, and collected to allow for a favorable outcome for you. Really focusing on projects that can be completed quickly this month is very beneficial, but also paying extra attention to the detail of contracts and agreements that you are signing this month. So be sure you get 2 sets of eyes, dot your I's, cross your T's, and make sure you're really paying attention and ask questions. There's no such thing as a dumb question when signing contracts and agreements. For you, the solar eclipse is going to be occurring in your 6th house. You may find that you begin evaluating your responsibilities and how to maintain that balance between your physical health and the requirements of your work. Taurus, take the initiative to improve yourself and your skills. There can be more tension and aggression at work that leaves you feeling uncomfortable. This is really a good month to begin that exercise regime that you've been talking about. So jump to, get on it, start it now. Don't wait till the new year. Just get it going. Even if you don't do it every day, start it. It'll feel better. It's also exercising going to help release any tension that's building up within you, which is also very good to do with all the other transits going in October. You can be prone to overheating or getting sick with fevers or heat, so just be mindful, put your health first, pay attention. For you, health problems with pets may be more costly this month, so really keep an eye on your little furry family members. For you, the solar eclipse is occurring in your fifth house, where it'll shine a spotlight on your heart's desires and passions. The key themes you will find brought up are around romance, your hobbies, children, and creative expression. Gemini, make sure to have fun this month. Get out, go have some fun. It can be playing with your kids or getting out and doing something fun, getting together with friends, but get out and do something fun. Inspiration you may find comes from unexpected places or completely out of the blue. You may find that you have a clearer vision during this period, so really take advantage with it. It's also a month to really show your passion. On the flip side, with that passion, don't make any rash decisions. Take the time, cool down, sleep on them, weigh the pros and cons, and see where it gets you. It can, as I said, weigh those pros and cons, write a list, visually evaluate them. And I mean, right, like get out that pen and paper, old school, as people would say, because it connects better to your brain. For you, the solar eclipse is going to be occurring in your fourth house. So that's going to really shine a spotlight on your home life, real estate, or family. Cancer, this can be a really great month to make sure your home has a positive flow of energy and that there is nothing stagnating that energy. It's going to be important to maintain your responsibilities to family, work, and any education you may be doing. There could be some tension around your home with arguments and disagreements. Step back, wait until the tensions have calmed before having that conversation, and you'll find it's a much more productive conversation. For you, get your car checked out to avoid any expensive problems later and be cautious while driving. You can be a little more accident prone. For you, it could be fun to add some new accessory to your home as well this month, whether it's, a piece of, a print on the wall or, painting a wall in your house a new color, or even painting a whole room a new color. For you, the solar eclipse is going to be occurring in your third house, which is going to shine a spotlight on how you communicate with others. It can bring an increase in activity as it relates to your daily happenings, including interactions with neighbors, friends, and contacts. Leo, this can be a great month to start working out as your physical strength is higher. Let your inner child out to play and enjoy the most of life. Use this as a time to express yourself through music, dance, writing, art, and athletics. And it's really important to stay calm during your communications. Be that voice of calm and reason, but don't hog attention. If you have siblings, Leo, this is not the month to pick fights with them. Just let it go for a little bit and then come back to it later when you're going to be calmer and the interaction's going to go better. It can be a really great time to focus on selling and self-promotion as well. For you, Leo, the solar eclipse is occurring in your second house, and that's going to shine a light on your finances, possessions, and wealth. You could also find yourself evaluating your own self-worth. So be open, really do that self-analysis and see where it goes. Virgo, you will be more direct this month, which brings with it a need to watch what you say. Being more direct can be beneficial, but it can also get you into trouble if you don't take the time to think through what you are saying as well as who your audience is. You can be more impulsive with your spending this month, so be mindful and really stick to your budget. If you don't have a budget, write a budget. Stick to it. It's going to be really important to take the time to sit down and enjoy your meals to avoid digestive upset, and it's a really good month to take a short course and to learn new information because you'll be able to really learn it more quickly. For you, the solar eclipse will be occurring in your first house. This will encourage you to step into your own strength and power. It will guide you to pursue your own independence, and this energy could guide you to new beginnings, starting a new chapter, or beginning new projects, so be open. Libra, you will have more ambition and energy to accomplish your goals and to tackle things on your to-do list that may have been hanging over your head. You'll feel more You'll feel more able to tackle tasks that had seemed overwhelming before. You have this real ability to really complete unfinished projects more efficiently. So grab that opportunity, take advantage of this transit, really enjoy that energy and don't let it pass you by. Now, the flip side, you will be able to move more quickly. This does come with it the need to watch and be more cautious as you can be more accident prone. So just be mindful. Pace yourself as well so you don't get burned out. For you, it's going to be really important to watch your temper and take a breath before reacting on impulse. Count to 10 or take the night to sleep on it. For you, Libra, the solar eclipse will be occurring in your 12th house, shining a light on the unconscious and hidden world. This can bring a time of closure, it can bring a time of healing and release, and it could bring with it a health check to put you back on the right path. So really pay attention to your health and make sure you don't let anything get by. Scorpio, make sure that you keep your home protected this month. Double check that all doors are locked and windows are closed before leaving the house. It can be a really good month to pay ahead on your credit cards to get in front of any potential debt. Really take this time, look over your finances, reassess your budget as needed. If you need to rewrite it or readjust it, now's the month to do it. This is especially important if you haven't checked in a while. So I know some people only do it at the start of the year. It can be really beneficial for you to do it this month, Scorpio. You may find that your sleep is more disturbed this month, which will leave you feeling kind of waking up more tired, feeling more lethargic. Rest assured, unless your chart says otherwise, this is a passing influence on your natal chart. So you don't need to worry once this transit passes. For you at the office, it's going to be really important to be careful who you share, what you share in confidence with others to avoid backstabbing. For you, this solar eclipse will be shining a light on your connections with others and the way you interact with your community. You may find your mind shifts in the way it thinks about your hopes, dreams, and aspirations for the future. It is okay to reevaluate, and it's okay to shift those dreams. Sagittarius, this month you may see your cash flow increase as opportunities present themselves to you. Get out and socialize with your friends. It's going to be important to watch your back, as there could be people who pretend to be your friend that really don't have your best interest at heart. For you, really key, avoid those get rich quick schemes. Someone will get rich. It will not be you. So just know that, keep that in mind. It's not going to be beneficial for you. The other thing is, don't loan any money to your friend unless you're okay with it not getting repaid, because it will not be a loan. It will be a gift. You will not see that money again if you do that this month. For you, that solar eclipse is going to be occurring in your 10th house of career. This is going to force you to reevaluate your career and your ambitions. That doesn't mean that you should make knee-jerk reactions, but be open to what comes to mind during this time and take the time to evaluate it. Capricorn, this is a good month to promote yourself. It may be making it known about the projects you've accomplished at work or a project you are working on. Take action this month. Don't overthink decisions to the point of missing out on opportunities. And it's really important to remember to respect your boss. It can be a really good time to consider your career path and what you see as your next steps. Make a plan and start implementing it. If you are considering asking for a promotion, be sure to gauge your employer's reactions before making demands. With some of the other stuff going on, might not be the best time, but only you know the company you work for. The solar eclipse is occurring in your 9th house, which is going to place that spotlight on your spirituality and thoughts of international travel. Keep an open mind and take the time to lean into the messages you receive during this month. Aquarius, this is a lucky month for you. You're going to feel more inspired, but at the same time, you might feel you can't trust that inner knowing and that gut. It is important to remember, trust your heart and gut. It's not going to steer you wrong. Your intuition is there to help you and guide you. It's really a month to break the links to those who are controlling you or trying to control you and tell you how to live your life. For you, authority figures will come across as demanding your attention and respect, but be aware their motivations may be unclear or hidden. Really try not to get into fights with your boss or father or any other type of authority figures this month, as the outcome likely won't be in your favor. For you, the solar eclipse is occurring in your 8th house. This is asking you to focus within and pay attention to your true self. You may find yourself taking stock of your relationships, all types of relationships, in terms of the energy you receive and give. It's okay to assess and say, step away and limit or end relationships with those who are only sucking your energy dry. You want that balance of energy transfer between people you're interacting with. Pisces, support can come more quickly this month, whether it be help from others or money. Your curiosity about a topic may lead you to dig deeper and learn more, and your mind is going to be full of ideas and insights. Really be sure to write them down and not let them pass you by. You may feel more worried and vulnerable during this month, but this will pass unless, of course, your natal chart says otherwise. So just keep that in mind. Also, really great month. Check in on your health, as health issues may surface this month, and it can be really good to catch them early. Great month, focusing on health. Do a cleanse or a detox for your health. For you, the solar eclipse is going to be occurring in your 7th house of partnerships. This will bring a focus on one-on-one relationships, both personal and professional, and you may find you have more commitments and need to negotiate more during this time. One of the things to keep in mind is I do use the sidereal system, very different than tropical. It does differ. So keep that in mind as you're going through this. I think October is going to be a month full of change and events and things coming up. It's what we make it. It's how we view it. As I say and have said numerous times, if you've watched my videos or read my newsletter, which you should sign up for if you don't already, down below, because they get more information than you do. It's just a time of, it's a time of change. Eclipses always bring change. It's a powerful period. Use the energy in your favor. Use how you view it. Stay grounded. And I think it's going to actually be a beautiful month. And again, it's what you make it. So if you view it as it's going to be a shit month, it's going to be a shit month. Sorry, language, but it's true. If you view it as it's going to be positive and things that happen are happening for your benefit, it's going to be a whole different outlook. So enjoy the month of October. Come back in November, because I am going to be talking about the nodes of the moon changing signs. That's going to bring a big impact and a huge change for the next 18 months, starting November 28th of 2023, because I do use the true nodes in terms of their movement. Some people say it's moving in October, but that's using the mean node system. I use the true node system. So come back in November and we'll see what information we give you then. Otherwise, like and follow this video. And if you have not already, signed up for the free newsletter below. And if you're interested, I've also put the link to book your personal natal consultation that's unique to you. And that's really where we get the most information. So until then, enjoy the month of October and have a wonderful month. And I will see everybody next month.